And this is the look. No, I'm just kidding. Oh shit, knocking shit down. Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a throwback makeup tutorial. Now I'm not going to be doing a full face makeup tutorial. I definitely really just wanted to focus on the eyes. I really wanted to experiment with color while sticking to my comfort zone. So if you guys like this look, if you guys want to learn how to get it, don't forget to press that subscribe button and also don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that way you guys are updated anytime I upload a new video, which is 3 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. But I'm thinking about cutting out the Sunday upload. Come on, girl, no. No. But just so that way I can film more vlogs on my vlog channel. Let me know how you guys feel about that. I know some people will be like, no, pump the brakes, but I really want to get into vlogging. So definitely let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And with that, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the eye tutorial. So pretty much how today's video is going to play out is I'm really just going to focus on the eyes. I will touch on my blush and also my lip combo just because I want you guys to get the full and completed look, but I'm not going to touch on my face makeup because I feel like I've been doing that a lot recently. I feel like I've been doing so many full face videos, so I really just want to throw it back to an old school makeup tutorial. So I will be using the OG Jaclyn Hill palette. I feel like a lot of you guys own this palette, so I really wanted to use something that you guys could use and follow along with at home. So I've already primed my eyelids with a little bit of the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. You guys know I love to use this to prime my eyelids. It's really going to mute them out and cancel out any discoloration or veinage. I'm now going to go in with a bone colored shadow. This is technically my face powder, but I'm going to use this to set down just my crease. I'm not going to take this on my lid and I'm not going to take it onto my brow bone. I'm just applying a thin layer of powder just so that way it's a little bit easier for my shadows to blend. Now normally I won't set down my concealer, but I feel like a lot of you guys at home are having a hard time blending out your shadows when you go in with the shadow without setting your lid. So I really just want to mimic an easier way for you guys to blend out your eyeshadows, which is why I am going in with a thin layer of shadow just in my crease. Again, not on my lid and not on my brow bone. I'm now going to move on to using this soft brown shade in the palette called Pukey, and I'm going to take that on an M441. I'm going to use this as my transitional color. I'm going to start by going in small circular motions in the crease, like so. And I want to drag this from outer to inner corner, and I want it to be super opaque all the way throughout. So I don't want it to be darker in the outer corner. I want it to have the same opacity all the way throughout the crease. And as you can see, I'm going in with a rather light hand. I feel like it's easier to build up color than going in with a ton of color all at once, if that makes any sense at all. Once I have a light layer of that shadow built up in my crease, I'm going to start going in with a little bit more product. And again, I do want this to be opaque all the way throughout, so I am going to use the same amount of pressure from outer to inner corner. Ooh, look at that blend. Look at that blend, look at that blend, look at that blend. Now that I have that color all in my crease, I'm going to take a clean M441 and I'm going to run it alongside the edges just to blend it a little bit more. I feel like whenever I film makeup tutorials, you guys don't see how much I go in with a clean brush to really just blend out the edges, which is why I'm able to achieve such a seamless blend. So make sure you guys are taking your time to go in with a clean brush and really just diffuse out the edges because it makes all the difference. The next shade I'm going to take is this fun color right here called Twerk. I haven't used color on my channel in so long, and oftentimes you guys request that I use color. Sometimes I really just don't know how to go about doing it, so I decided last night that I wanted to experiment with color a little bit more. I'm just spraying my brush with some Fix Plus, so I decided to pick up this blue color, and honestly I was so impressed with the way the look came out, which is why I'm sitting down and refilming it for you guys today. But do you guys see how beautiful that blue is? Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm stamping it onto my eyelid like this. I am using a MAC 242 brush. This is probably one of my favorite brushes to apply this shade all over my lid. I'm only putting it on my lid. I'm not taking it above the crease. Otherwise, it will start to look a little cray-cray. So just make sure you keep it low onto the lid and below the crease. And I'm stamping this on my lid from inner to outer corner. Honestly, I am so obsessed with this blue shade. And what really inspired me to create a look using a blue eyeshadow is when I used the Mystics palette in my last video. A lot of you guys were like, why didn't you use the blue? And it's not that I intentionally like misuse the blue. I just really wanted to create something that was more cool toned without a pop of color. So that's why I was really inspired to create a blue look today. And honestly, I'm living, breathing for it. Once I have that blue all over the lid, I'm going to take an M433 and I'm going to do a cocktail between Pukey and Roxanne, kind of dipping my brush back and forth between the two. And I'm going to rock this in the socket, pretty much starting right here towards the outer V. And I'm just going to go from outer to inner corner, like so. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to really deepen up the crease in order to bring that blue into the look. Because as you can see, there's a little bit of a gap right here. So in order for me to get everything to blend very nicely, you want to really just close up that gap with a deeper color. And I'm starting off with a medium shade between the two because obviously the shade isn't as deep as the blue on the lid, but it's just kind of like the starter shade before I go in with a very deep color to just tie everything together. Just taking my brush and going side to side. I'm also going to take it right here into the inner part too. Look at me mixing cool tones and warm tones. I love it. Now I am going back and forth into my crease maybe about 3, 4, 5 times until I build it up to the intensity that I want. Right now it's getting super deep, which is what I'm going for. I'm now going to go in with that same M441 and I'm just going to kind of buff out the edges because I am getting a little bit more of a harsh edge and I really just want to keep it nice and soft so that way it just gradiates to my brow bone. And that is pretty much what I'm going for. I know it looks muddy between the blue and the sienna color, but I promise you it's all going to come together. It's just the process, and when you do your makeup, you really have to just trust in the process. Otherwise, you'll take it off like before it's even done. So far, this is what I'm working with. I did want to show you, so far I've only used 4 brushes. This is the overall lid shade. This is the initial M441 that I used to put Pukey in my crease. Then I use this brush right here to really buff and blend out the edges, and this is what I use to really deepen up that crease shade. So 4 brushes, and I just keep alternating back and forth between the two. Now I'm gonna go in with that initial brush that I used to put Pukey in the crease, and I'm gonna pick up an even deeper shade, and this one right here is called Jax. It's a really nice burgundy shade, and I'm actually gonna use this to deepen up the crease a little bit more. And I'm gonna start by pressing it right here towards the outer corner and really just try to buff it into that blue shade. And I'm taking my time with this. I don't want to go in with too much color all at once, and I also don't want to take this color above the transitional shade, so I am trying to keep it rather low. And I'm using this brush at first just because I do want to get a feel for it, but I'm essentially going to go right back into that brush that I used to really deepen up the crease. Now one thing you want to keep in mind is that sometimes when you deepen up the crease, you can get a little bit of that blue right there in the front of the brush, and you just want to keep it down on your eyelid, because if you flip it upwards, that blue shade is going to get all up here on your transitional shade and it can get really, really messy. So I'm popping it right here like so to deepen up that crease, and then I'm going to run it back and forth to just create a little bit more dimension. Now I'm not taking this all the way into the inner corner. I'm primarily keeping the shade right here towards the outer crease area. Once I have that color sitting right there in the outer crease, I'm just going to go right back into that brush and blend the edges together just so that way everything is diffused. In order for your eyeshadow to come out somewhat decent, it's all about melting these colors together in a seamless way. Just take your time with it. I promise it will come together in the end. So far, so good. I'm now going to add an additional brush to the mix. This is an M507. It's what I like to call a precision blending brush. I'm going to pick up the shade called Chip, which is a brown shade that has a little bit of like purple undertones to it. And I'm just going to pop this right here on the outer corner, kind of covering up where that blue is, just because I really want this to be the darkest and deepest part of the look. So I'm just kind of wiggling it right here to cover up a little bit of that blue, but I also want it to gradiate into the blue very, very nicely. So I'm really just focusing on feathering this inwards while still keeping it relatively dark right here on the very outer edge. So I really need you guys to look at the blend on the shadow. Like that shade Chip really just transformed the entire look. I'm gonna go in with an M514 and I'm actually gonna use this to soften up this outer edge right here. And I'm just using a super light hand. Now I know I'm like super anal about my brushes and what brushes I use, but honestly, the more brushes you use or the more variety of brushes you use, I feel like you will get a really nice blended effect. I'm now gonna go right back into my MAC 242 brush and I'm gonna pick up that shade called Twerk, which is the blue in the palette. And I'm just going to pat it onto the lid to re-intensify it, because as you guys can see, I lost that vibrancy and intensity while I was going in with so many different shades and blending out the colors. So you really just want to go right back in with the color, spray your brush if you need to, and in this case I do, and just pat it onto the lid. So I feel like immediately you guys can tell the difference between this side and this side. This side I re-intensified that blue, whereas this side I haven't done so yet, but it just makes a huge difference. So just make sure you go back in there and really just touch up your lid shade, because sometimes when you go in with your crease shades or you're really just intensifying the crease, that color can get lost in the sauce, if you feel me. So quick tip. Good tip. Hi. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bring down my transitional shade a little bit, because I did get a little bit carried away. So I'm going to take the shade called In Light from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to pop it right here onto my brow bone. And I do like to consider my brow bone highlight kind of like my magic eraser, because sometimes when I feel like I've taken the shadow way too high, I can kind of bring it down a little bit with the brow bone highlight. Sorry, I'm looking for a brush. I'm going to use this brush right here now that I have that shadow in place, and I'm going to kind of pat onto the highlight and drag it down ever so slightly. And as you can see, it really just brings down the shadow and it allows everything to blend together very nicely. I'm now going to take some Makeup Wipes. These are by Collab, and I'm just going to clean up a little bit of the fallout on my lower lash line by taking my nail. Actually, I don't have nails anymore, so it's going to be a little bit harder, but I'm just going to kind of sweep away part of the shadow. And as you can see, I didn't really get much fallout at all, so I'm not really cleaning up much, but I want to make sure this area is nice and clean before I go in with foundation and stuff. Okay guys, so I went ahead and put on my foundation, concealer, powder, and bronzer. We're now going to move right back up to the eyes. I'm going to take a little bit of Pukey and Roxanne on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to smudge it right here on the very lower lash line, connecting it with the shadow on my upper lid. So I'm just going to kind of glide this right underneath and really just blend it into the shade right here, just like that, just so that way everything connects very, very nice. And I do want this to be super smoky and blown out, so I am going to just really intensify this shade on my lower lash line, just like that. After I have that shade called Roxanne and Pukey blended, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade called Chip, and I'm going to place it closest to the very outer edge, just so that way it looks like this shade connects with that of the upper lid. And I'm also going to take a little bit of Chip and just buff it right here alongside the edge to deepen it up a little bit more. Then I'm going to take a E25 by Sigma, and I'm going to run it right alongside the edge to help further blend, and we should have something that looks a little bit like this. If you want to go even further with this look, just take a little bit more of Pukey and put it right here on the very inner half and really just continue to smoke this out. So this is pretty much what the look should look like. I'm just going to go in with a clean M507 and really just smoke out this lower lash line like so. Y'all, I am obsessed, living. Like, look how beautiful the shape of this eye look looks. Okay, so following that, I am going to go in with a little bit of liner. I'm going to use this by Pat McGrath. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in the shade Black Coffee. I did haul this when I did my Sephora haul not too long ago. So I'm just going to pop this right here in my waterline to really just deepen things up and create more of a sultry look. For mascara, I'm going to use this. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I'm going to do a few coats on my upper and also my lower lashes right before I apply my falsies. And one of the main reasons I like to apply my mascara before my false lashes is because I actually don't put mascara on my false lashes because I feel like it ruins the lifespan of the lashes, and I like for my lashes to look as natural as possible. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop on lashes and then I will be right back. All right, so now that my lashes are on, I'm gonna go in with the shade called In Light on a pencil brush, and I'm gonna pop it right here in the very inner corner to draw forth light. I am going to use a little bit of the Laura Mercier Glow Powder on the brush that it came with. This is way too much. And I'm going to tap off and pop this on the highest points of my cheekbones, just so that way I can glow a little bit. I'm just going to slide to the left, slide to the right. Following that, I am going to go in with a little bit of my Dior highlighter in the shade 003. Honestly, this is one of my faves, and I'm still using that same Laura Mercier brush, and I'm putting the majority of the highlight right here on the apples of my cheeks. Just like that. And I really like using this brush to apply highlight because I feel like it hugs my cheeks and it applies the highlight in such a diffused way. Honestly, if you guys don't have this brush, I think it is a game changer. At least it is for me. For blush, I'm gonna go in with this blush right here by Makeup Geek. This is called Infatuation, and I'm gonna apply it with my Smashbox blush brush. All right, and to finish things off, I am gonna apply lips. Now, I do have kind of like a lip cocktail. I am using like 3 different lip products. I have the Retro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Dash of Spice. I also have the Dose of Colors Liquid Lipstick in the shade Truffle, and I have a MAC lip gloss in the shade Myth. So I do like to start off with this one. This is in Dash of Spice, and it is a little bit more of a cool tone lip, and I'm just going to pop this all over. After applying Dash of Spice, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Truffle directly over top, which is a little bit more of a mauve pink. And to top everything off, I'm going to apply a MAC lip gloss in the shade Myth. I'm also going to spray my face with a little bit of the Lila B, a Glow Facial Mist. And with that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I would definitely say I really love the look. I actually want to start stepping out of my comfort zone a lot more. So while I won't be doing like eye tutorials all the time, I really want to kind of sprinkle them in there where I just focus on the eyes and I do something super creative. I'm actually thinking about doing like that cloud makeup challenge that's been going all around Instagram and YouTube, just because I feel like it'd be super hard for me to do, and I really just want to be creative. So let me know your thoughts down below, and if you guys have any other video recommendations, let me know in the comments down below. Filming 3 videos a week is literally no joke. Like, I'm fresh out of ideas, and your feedback, your recommendations would mean a lot to me. I'm going to be responding to some of your comments down below. And with that, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. Reflectors make all the difference. With a reflector, without. Thank me later. So you guys made it to the outro of the outro. No? Too much? probably too much. But don't forget to press the subscribe button right here and check out some of my other videos right over here. Odds are if you guys like this video, you're gonna like some of my other ones. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I love you, and I will talk to you soon.